Yo, it's Mo, and I'm in here. Thank you for listening to the Mix of Black Girl Magic podcast on Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you guys. Download Anchor. Yo, it's Mo. Thank you guys for joining me here on the Mix of Black Girl Magic podcast. I have some very special guests with me today, and I'm so excited to share this episode with you all. I wanted to bring some people who mean a lot to me together to discuss our intersectional identities and our couples. So we're going to get right into it. First, I want to let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started. So thank y'all for tuning in, and let's get right into it. So first, I think we'll go in level of seniority here, if that's okay.
That works for me.
Okay. So I'm going to shout out someone who is very special to me. And would you go ahead and introduce yourself, Kia?
As the oldest sister, of course I will. Thank you.
Yay!
And thank you for saying those sweet things about me. I am Shakia Suggs, the oldest of the Andrews girls. Here with, I guess I will introduce Teresa as well, since we're here together.
Yes.
So me and Teresa.
Hi, my name is Teresa Davamar, Shakia's spouse. I am Haitian and I'm an interior designer. So I'm excited to be here and, have fun.
Yes, thank you. And then I'm going to have you all meet someone else who is super amazing. It was super important to me, and I want you guys to meet her too. So, Brittany, could I get you to tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Brittany. I am your not a whole lot about me. Very shy and reserved when it comes to formal speaking. But I'm here, and thank you for having me and inviting me. I will say Sequoia is older than me.
Oh wow!
Wow. Gonna introduce my wonderful, amazing girlfriend, Sequoia.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No comment. I'm Sequoia, aka Broccoliana. I am best described as a lover of life, and I'm drinking tequila.
Yay! And last but not least, I would like to introduce my partner, my best friend, and the one who puts up with all of my shenanigans. So, if you would, Ladera, thank you for joining us, and could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is Ladera. I am Mo's partner and life partner. I am a fine artist in Charlotte, North Carolina. I paint vibrant abstract art. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, guys, the cat is out of the bag. I am here with my sisters and their partners, as well as my partner. And again, I wanted to take this time and have a conversation about Black lesbian couples. So my stance on this is like I feel like we have this form these like super couples because in a sense I think we found partners that work well for us and helped us to become better versions of ourselves. But you know, some people may agree, some people may disagree, and I'm okay with that. I just want to start with, you know, um, telling kind of the story of like how we found each other and how it's kind of enhanced our lives. So, um, a little bit about my story, how I was before I got into a relationship, was just out here, you know, doing a mess. Doing a mess. And they're laughing because they know, you know, and I think it took for me to really like get out of my own way and stop like sabotaging my own self and realize that like I had someone there for me who was like good for me. And so once I decided that I was going to get out of my own way and really put my all into the relationship, I just felt like we kind of got it to this place where like we realized that we had some similar goals and we kind of just started to take this journey. So me putting myself in a better mindset and sticking out through the hard times, we are where we are today. So I kind of want to give my guests, who are also my sisters, a little chance to tell their stories as well. Um, and so I don't know who wants to start first, but we could rock, paper, scissors, or
Ooh, can I go
I could
first?
just call somebody out.
Do your thing.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna go into too many details about how Brittany and I met or anything like that. However, I will say that like a string of toxic relationships and just kind of not really, I don't know, getting like, what would you call it? Like the criticism or honesty or just whatever that you need from a partner. Brittany was definitely, I don't know, just like a slap in the face, but like in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it just wasn't what I was used to, but it was like exactly what I didn't know I needed, whatever the saying is, you know. And I feel like
Yes.
I feel probably the same for her, you know, just as just being like we're so good together because we know we can say what needs to be said to each other, and even if it is the wrong way, like you gonna hear what I said, you know, at least later, whatever, and it's gonna make us better, you know. I think that just the ability to be resilient. Has done just like
Absolutely.
my relationship has also just helped me in life and everything. Just kind of just keeps me looking forward to everything else that I can conquer. I feel like
Yes, that is the superpower that I feel like we form when we find a person who not only like challenges us, but like pushes you in that right direction with
yeah,
that challenge.
support. It's a really good get everywhere, you know.
So look, yeah, Kia and Teresa, like how were y'all before y'all got into your relationship?
Oh, well, I'll start. I won't say that I was in the streets. I was probably on the corner, and not like not like a walking girl on the corner, but I was like tiptoeing the line between the streets and being the person that I know I should be. I was in a place when we met that I realized that the person that I was for other people wasn't really the best. So I was trying to better myself in a sense of not hurting people, because I probably can say I hurt a few people. So I was I was already working towards being a better person, right? So when we met, it was kind of like a triple threat. Like, you ever had kind of not necessarily a fantasy, but something that you was looking for, something that, you know, hit all the wickets that you were looking for. And I found
Yes.
that in her. And I won't say that the path has always been easy. There's always some obstacles, but I think we drive each other to be better. Well, I know I can speak for myself. She definitely pushes my buttons to make me become a better, not only person, but a better communicator, and just having faith in myself, knowing that if I want something, I work hard enough that I could probably get it instead of settling in my complacency, and not going outside of the box that I'm used to.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I would say it's the same for me. When we met, we just vibed. Like the energy was there, so I felt like she was someone I could be myself around. Like, but I know, of course, like I know for myself, I had a lot of growing up to do. So, I feel like over the years, we actually we grew up together, and we can be honest and communicate with each other. I feel like at this point, there is nothing really that can break us. We're at a point where it's the relationship is super strong. I have
Yes.
best friend in her. I have a life partner in her. So I think that's where we're
Yes.
at, and it's just gonna continue to grow.
Can,
Yes,
can
I
y'all see me?
absolutely foresee that.
He's blushing.
Can,
She's
can
like
y'all see
right
me
across
blushing?
from me.
Oh,
Yes. And y'all, in this moment, I'm so grateful that like my sisters found, happiness, like in a sense, the same way that I did. And it's like good that I have people that I can share that with who I know genuinely want the best for me and I want the best for them. And it's like, we can all be sounding boards for each other when stuff gets tough. So yes, Sequoia, yes, Teresa. Thank y'all for loving my sisters. And then
Can we?
um
Sarah loves you.
I want to see what Ladera has to say and like how were
um,
you before the relationship and what's going on now? Because like I said, y'all, I was a hot mess.
I think for myself, I think we were the same way when we met. Like, I wasn't looking for anything, and I was just like, we'll see how this goes. I was just here for the fun, and then basically just like, you know, it went well. Like, we had our
Had a
ups and
good.
downs
You had
as
a good
well.
time.
We had a good time. Like we did a lot together. Like we traveled and like we always went on road trips and like we really got to know each other, which was nice because we didn't like jump right in and be like, oh, we're girlfriends. It took a while. So we really got to know each other and she became my friend and my best friend first. And then it was just like, okay, let's stop playing around and let's make it
Yes,
official. So
yes. So I appreciate that you didn't like, say anything crazy about me. I really
of
appreciate it.
course. I mean,
But
we all have our ups and downs, so
Completely.
yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, kid.
Oh, nothing. I was just agreeing. Ups and
Okay.
downs make couples stronger. Just grown. You get growing pains, and that's for relationships and life in general. So
Yeah, and I would say that it's really tricky in relationships. Like you have to constantly be growing with that person because that's why a lot of marriages don't last because you have one person that's growing and the other one is it's just is
stagnant.
stagnant.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like you have to like continuously grow with that person.
So my take on that, I absolutely agree with you. And I was saying that just like the trees in the forest, like they all grow at different rates. And so I really did have to at times realize that, hey, like her tree may be growing right now and mine isn't, or, vice
Y'all in
versa.
different seasons. Yep.
But, what I really learned, and that's just like, off of what you guys were saying, Sequoia and Teresa. It's just like I found that person who challenged me in a good way, and then Teresa, like I found that person who was like also my best friend and allowed me to grow up when I needed to. And so yeah, I really felt thankful. But in this thing of these Black lesbian relationships, I think there are also some obstacles that we have to overcome. And I don't want to go into like,
Sometimes it's out of anger or anguish or frustration So I became very inverted with my anger and my frustration, and I bottled it up. So when it comes time for me to express why I feel the way, sometimes I don't know how to do that or articulate it. Like, I'll know that I'm pissed off, but I just can't tell you why. So for the last couple of years, I've been really working on putting words to my feelings and expressing them in a way that's not disrespectful or blunt or mean, and not necessarily like passive, but just not in a way that my partner will feel like I'm coming for her. You know what I'm saying? So I think communication is tough for a lot of people.
Yeah. And and for me, it's the opposite, because for me, I over communicate. Like, if something's wrong, you're gonna know it. Like, yeah. Like, I'm not, like, if we go out somewhere and, let's say she said something that I didn't like, of course I'm not gonna embarrass her in front of everybody. But as soon as we get in the car, you're gonna hear my mouth. Like,
yes, girl, yes.
But yeah, and I would say too, another thing is love languages, right?
Yes,
so like, that's one thing we had to work on, because my love language is different from her love language. And at some point I was trying to love her the way that I wanted to be loved, where and she was doing, and vice versa, right? So we had to really sit and learn about each other's love language.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing. I mean, to touch on everything that y'all have said so far about communication, like, me and Brittany definitely go through that as well. But that, like, I think us as their partners, like, just knowing their family and just kind of observing and just knowing where they came from or whatever, it's a lot easier to deal with, like, Brittany or, your partner or whatnot. So I feel like just kind of being attentive and just, just kind of knowing what the background there is. But also, like, me and Brittany, I'm a parent. I've been a parent for, at the time it was 3 years now, so like, there are certain things that I know that need to be done or whatever. And into the picture, not being a parent, not really knowing anything about it, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, you're not only teaching the child grown and it's so beautiful and they've just gotten their own way, more of like an observation than like a training session now. So, but it was obstacle, raising a parent, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that, Brittany? What do you think was the obstacle for you? Was it like, coming into it as a new parent potentially, or what was your obstacle?
I guess I could say, like, and step up and help. Sometimes the help wasn't always received, and not in a negative way, but like, in a mom way, like, I got this, don't worry about it, or what have you. But learn that it has been a process and an obstacle to overcome, because he's had to learn and understand the processes of him growing and trying to learn and be patient and understanding with that situation as far as that goes. And I think for me, just being more aware of the situation that I am in. Like, it's not always easy. I have a family, so to speak, to attend to or what have you. But I don't know. I'm here for the ride, and it's an ongoing process. It's every day is an opportunity to learn. So I'm here for it. Yeah. So I don't know if obstacle is a good word, but because we still learning.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, and I feel I can like attach to you saying like just learning patience, because I was so like, I don't know if it's a family thing for us, but I was just so used to being like understood in the way that I communicated, and so I really had to be patient and like realize, okay, like, this person isn't from where I'm from. They haven't grown up how I've grown up, or and really find some room and some patience with her. I think it goes a little bit further than patience. It was just like compassion, or Kia, you were saying like how you would get frustrated, and all of that took me growing through like what Daryl was saying, like what was our communication issue. So I can feel a little bit of all that from all y'all conversations.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I had more
So that's good.
more to input, but I don't know.
I feel like that was great, too. I really do. And or Brittany. And
That's funny.
because patience is a virtue, and I think I'm really big on what the Bible says about love and how love is patience, and it has to not keep records of wrongs and be unconditional and all those things. Is like, okay, I'm saying I love this person, but I'm really not practicing none of these things that define love. So I try to be mindful of that. The next question that I have for you ladies, and thank you for your answers. Y'all have been so dope so far and dropping jewels for the kids. So I have to ask, like what changed? Do you feel like there was like a moment where you were just like, oh, I got it, or like, yeah, this is that. Was there a moment where you felt like you realized that you were where you needed to be
in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was a moment of saying this is where I needed to be, but there was a sense like when you get stuck in your ways, right, and then somebody challenges you, first you become a little bit like who you think you are, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that, but when you notice that they're trying to change you for the better, and not necessarily change you, but help you grow for the better, I think when somebody takes you out of your comfort zone and pushes you to do things that you never thought you could do, or things that are outside of the norm for the way you grew up, I think that was for me what was the moment. Like I remember we were in California, and she was like, I want to start looking for houses, and I was like, okay, right. And like I have never, we don't really have a lot of homeowners in our family, right? So in my mind, I never really put myself like, do you think you can be a homeowner at this point in your life, right? And then she like the next week was like, oh yeah, I reached out to a realtor, we got to go see some houses tomorrow. And I was like, shit, this is moving pretty fast. So, but like I was like abrasive at first, but then once we got into the process, and actually I became more relaxed than she did. She was worried more than I was when we actually got into the process, when they had to come to like getting all the paperwork and all those things. So at first I was afraid. One, that I didn't think that I was ready. Two, I didn't think that I was financially stable enough to do it. And then like I wasn't one of those kids that be like, oh, I want to do this when I grow up. So it was never one of the things that was on my radar. But once I realized that I could do it, it made me feel a way like, damn, well, maybe she got some faith in me that I don't even have in myself. So, you know what I'm saying? So that was it for me.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. What about for you, too? Or Brittany?
Sequoia.
Oh, Sequoia. Okay, for me. So, okay, I guess because I have been like big thoughts and all these different ideas and stuff like that, and I've always had boyfriends in the past specifically, just kind of like listen to me and hear me out or whatever, but like we don't really put action to anything. But I know when Brittany started giving me more so reactions and then kind of like following up with her reactions, of the things that I want to do, and like helping me or whatever, as far as just helping me get better in life. Like she knows that I have certain obstacles that I need to overcome, and instead of her just sitting around waiting for me to do them, like she's putting forth things in place for me to reach those goals or overcome those obstacles so that I can reach my goals. And I appreciate that. Like she like just feeds my in a way that like can't do with material things or whatever. Like instead of like buying me the newest Birkin bag, she's putting money in my pocket, or helping me so that I can put my money towards my ideas, so I don't have to worry about things financially. Or even when it comes down to like keeping the house clean or washing the dishes or whatever, like obviously I do take on that role. Well, not obviously, because we're women, we can take on whatever we want to, but I do try and take on the role of keeping the house clean and cooking and stuff like that more. But like she will, if she sees me getting overwhelmed, she'll just step in instead of me having to ask her. And I think that's what bothered me the most about, you always have to ask them. Nothing is ever really obvious with them. Like, I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but it's just like, you got to tell them to pick up their drawers off the floor. You got to tell them that the house is dirty. They can't just see it. It's like, you got to, I don't know, but I don't necessarily have to do that with her. So I definitely like appreciate that. And I appreciate just the effort that she puts into me, whether it be financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, like everything. Even the lessons that I learned from her having, you know, bad days or whatever, like it's all benefiting me, benefiting us in the long run. And I appreciate it. And I think that's what made me think, like made me realize like, okay, this is who I need to be with, because she's feeding into me in all ways.
Yes, honey. You feeding the soul. You know, you said she was feeding your soul, Sequoia. That was the quote that I got from there.
Thing. Yes, please. I'm sorry that was so many words, but like I like but yeah, she feeds everything, like my whole just soul, just everything. I'm extremely full.
Perfect. And then I think that was you know, y'all, for me and Dara, I'm gonna speak for us, babe, and then I'll let you talk.
Okay.
But I think what changed for me was just like even like at the start it was almost like I knew but I didn't want to know. And so, you know, it was like, okay, I hear you, you know, I see you, girl, but not right now. And then eventually, like, you know, yeah. And it was the fact that like I really never went anywhere. You know, I really just we just continued our friendship even through like tough times. And what really changed for me was like me being in binds and realizing that like, you know, if I knew that if I called her, she would be there for me. And I knew that I had other people that I could call, you know what I'm saying? But when you realize that like you just added this other person to the list, and you know, it just resonated for me then that like I don't even have to call those people because I know if I call her, she would be there for me. And that really made me think differently about us having a relationship, because I had always been in relationships in the past where I was always just so giving, and no one was really reciprocating what I was giving. And what I really liked about Dara in that moment that I knew was just like, you know, she reciprocated in a way that like she really was listening to me, or like wanting to get to know me, or you know, whatever it was just like, okay, this time I'm not gonna screw this up, because I realized that like this person would genuinely be there for me as I have been for so many people, and I didn't want to be that person to someone else. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely, as a leader, people so hard. And it's so hard to get that in return. Yes. So yes, girl, I know.
Okay, good. So once I realized that, I'm not, because I'm like, am I making sense? But Sequoia, we are here on this Leo wave.
We are.
And so once I realized that like this person is going to reciprocate, it really made me pay more attention to what was going on and what type of person that I was potentially missing out on. So like you were saying earlier, Kia was like, you were just checking, she was like checking my boxes in like that sense of like the triple threat. And I'm just like, girl, I'm just sitting here messing up all these boxes like a fool, you know? So yeah, Dara, I really appreciate you. Your consistency, even like early on, was great, and it's only continued over the 10 years. So even when it is tough or we don't see eye to eye, we know that we got each other's back when push comes to shove.
Absolutely. You're welcome. It's likewise. I think for myself, it was, how do I say? I think with you, well, yeah, with Mo, like you led me like back to like my purpose. Like you saw something in me that I had like was just like drawn away from, and that's like my art. So she's just like, you should just like take an art class, because like I would always like doodle and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I'm going to school for accounting. So, and I ended up taking like a class that summer, and like I've been doing art ever since. Like that's been my drive to just like stay in my purpose, and like I'm thankful that she guided me back to that. And I think another, like if it was like a moment, it would have to be like when we were like, I don't know, like I was at work, and like I don't know, it was just like, I guess I just had the feeling of like, like this is the person like I want to, like spend the rest of my life with. I can see that. And I was just like, fuck. So sorry. But yeah, I was just like, like I was just like, it was like the first time I told her that I love her, and I was just like, I just like I felt it, because like with me, I have a hard time with uh like really being like, I actually like that, and it's like I don't like a lot of things, so and I was just I know I'm I'm so picky, so and she basically was just I was just like, yeah, like I can't see myself without her, and yeah. Not sure if that
I
answered
mean,
the
I hate
question.
to toot my own horn, but
Don't do it. Don't.
no. Thank you for saying that, babe. That was so sweet. And yeah. So now that we are here at this point in the conversation, I just feel like what you've heard is how like as much as we experience life, we really were able to find in our partners like um that extra whatever that extra push that we need to get to the next stage of our lives. And so that brings me to my next question here, guys. What decision or what change did you make to like or during your relationship, even now, like what is it that you're changing to kind of make it continue to work for yourselves for the future? Like, is there anything you still need to work on, or you feel like you just where you need to be now?
Listening.
What do y'all think?
Listening. Apparently I have apparently I have the issue, and of course not literally listening, I guess just like picking up on the point. um, so I am actively working on that. Is quite the journey. It is quite the journey, but I'm here for it. Sequoia is great. She's really good to me. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's I'm patient. That brings me to me.
very, very
Yeah,
okay.
patience. I'm working on I mean I already kind of have to be patient, but like communication, I'm not. Like I feel like everybody should be able to communicate effectively and normally, and everybody should be normal. And like it makes me mad when people aren't normal. But with that said, yeah, shut up. with that being said, like I need to learn to be more patient with adults. Like I'm super patient with kids because this is like I'm ready to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like you don't know any better. But like as far as adults are concerned, I'm just like, no, you should know how to talk to me, how to deal with me, like whatever. So as far as that's concerned, just communicating and not necessarily getting patience with everyone's form of communication, everyone's love language, just the way that they express themselves.
That's great to hear from you, Sequoia, and from you as well, Brittany. I think, patience is important in all aspects of relationships. And then listening too, like Sequoia as Brittany's big sister, I remember when she didn't even want to listen to my mama. She didn't want to listen to me.
Okay. I never
So,
have a problem. She listens to me.
Boo. Sorry. But I do feel like, it's a work in progress.
So, wow. So what did you do, Shakia?
I don't know. Me and Pooh just got a different vibe, but I agree with the listening part. So my issue with listening is I have to learn to listen and not act. Sometimes people just need to vent or to say things to get off their chest. And I'm the type of person who, if you tell me something and it's broke, I'm gonna try to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So I am actively working on listening to listen and not listening to act. I don't think I have a savior complex, but I want everybody to be happy complex. So if I can help you get to that point, right, then I want to do everything that I can. And sometimes I just need to listen. And that's the part that I need to continue to work on.
Yeah, I think for me, it's working on my anxiety because I get anxious a lot and I tend to make, big, small things. I tend to turn them into like bigger issues than they need to be. And I need to, move on from past mistakes. I think that's what I would say for me. That's what I'm working on as far as our relationship right now.
Okay.
I think
yes, go ahead, Dara.
I think for me, I'm working on like quality time because like I'm a workaholic, and even like now that I'm an entrepreneur, like I still work a lot, and mine is just trying to find time just to be like, okay, I'm not gonna work today. We're gonna spend time together, even if that's just like, watching a movie or whatever. But I think that's the biggest challenge and what I'm working on personally for our relationship.
So yeah, I'm perfect and I'm not working on anything. But I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. I'm actually a hot mess. Sequoia, I'm glad you get that. But I'm actually a hot mess. And what Teresa, you were saying about anxiety is so true for me. Like I'm often anxious, and then that can sometimes in me trying to, like, I guess, soothe my anxiety, I just want to get away or to leave the place where the anxiety is being bolstered. And sometimes like that ruins the whole deal. So I'm definitely trying to work on managing my anxiety. And Kia, I think something that we have similar is like we always want to help. And honestly, sometimes Dara doesn't need my help. It's like, I'm going to paint this by myself. And I'm like, well, can I bring you some water? Do you want a snack? And it's just like, no, I just want to be in this room by myself. You shut up. And so I think, I like she was saying, I kind of am limited on quality time. But I also am super anxious when we are spending time like outside the house or in social situations. And so like I know I can mess up the thing. So I'm trying to work on being better with that.
Snap. I think
Sequoia, oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I think it's important for the question that you asked, because sometimes people don't know what they need to work on, right? So then they become stuck in a place and they don't grow. So knowing what you need to work on and not deeming yourself perfect, knowing that you have some growing to do. I think
the shoe fits.
I think that's
important.
So
I agree, Kia. I have literally wrote down Self-awareness. I am, what did I write? Still actively exploring the benefits of empowerment through self-awareness. Like, I feel like being more aware of who you are obviously projects on every other aspect of your life. You know what I'm saying? Any type of relationship, whether it's your personal, love life or what have you, work life, relationships, things of that nature, simply networking, meeting people out in public or what have you, being more aware of, yourself, what you like, what you gonna tolerate or what have you. Like, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting into that. Just really getting my foot wet into that, just because of the type of relationships that I've been in the past. So yeah, I agree.
That was
It
super.
was a good question.
Yeah, that was super. Like, yeah, like I don't think people think about that either. Like, it's just in relation to other people, like how you are and what you like, and being able to be like, no, I don't like that, or yes, I do. Okay, sure, I'll try it. I've never had that before. Like, I don't think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just young people.
Or like, just also being able to say like, yeah, like I need to work on something myself.
Right.
So
Yes.
for me, that was a big thing, because I mean, like, it's not like I think I'm perfect. It literally was just a joke. But I think people have that perspective where like, oh, I'm good. It's that other person. But sometimes it is where you have to learn to compromise, especially when you're two Black women together. You've got to learn your strengths and your partner's weaknesses, and vice versa. So it's a learning process, and it doesn't end. So you're constantly learning new things.
Yeah.
Every day.
Absolutely.
So, I think that was that. Like, I just wanted to make some statements, and see, if you guys agree or disagree on them really quickly, and then we'll have a little bit of fun, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in to part 1 of Power Couples, the latest episode on the Mix of Black Girl Magic podcast. You have heard the voices of some of my very favorite people in the entire world, and I hope you'll tune in next week to hear part 2 of Power Couples. Thank you for listening. Tune in next week. You don't want to miss it.